James Gunn's Superman reboot may be falling into MCU's trap, rushing world-building before grounding its hero. DC fans aren't loving it. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn's Superman reboot might be flying a little too close to the MCU sun. While fans are hyped to see Clark Kent back in action, some are already side-eyeing what feels like a classic Marvel misstep, overstuffing the universe before the foundation is even solid. With projects like Creature Commandos and Supergirl already lined up, it's giving a major Phase 4 vibe. Toss in confusing canon choices, and things feel messy. If Gunn wants DC to soar, he'll need to avoid Marvel's biggest flaw, forgetting that less sometimes really is more. James Gunn's Superman may be soaring toward release, but behind the scenes, the road's been anything but smooth. Despite the runtime reveal, insiders say the real story is the slight course correction that quietly reshaped DC Studios' flagship reboot, via World of Friel. James Gunn's Superman reboot might be flying a little too close to the MCU sun. While fans are hyped to see Clark Kent back in action, some are already side-eyeing what feels like a classic Marvel misstep, overstuffing the universe before the foundation is even solid. With projects like Creature Commandos and Supergirl already lined up, it's giving a major Phase 4 vibe. Toss in confusing canon choices, and things feel messy. If Gunn wants DC to soar, he'll need to avoid Marvel's biggest flaw, forgetting that less sometimes really is more. Then came the shakeups. One editor was quietly removed mid-process, prompting a restructuring of the film's narrative flow. Scenes were shuffled. New bits were added during reshoots. The goal was to sharpen the story and ground the tone. Even the music wasn't safe. A second composer joined the team late in the game, suggesting that the film's sonic identity may have shifted just weeks ago. It's all part of that broader tonal pivot insiders are calling a slight course correction. Early test screenings reportedly triggered alarms. The original cut leaned into humor, something that felt a little too MCU for die-hard DC fans. Warner Brothers execs, including CEO David Zaslav, weren't thrilled. In response, several comedic beats were trimmed, tightening both the tone and runtime. Peacemaker vs. Batman. James Gunn's ambitious dream for John Cena in DCU related. Peacemaker. James Gunn's Superman might be the DCU reset fans have been waiting for. Early buzz says it's not just decent, it's actually good. Despite last-minute pickups in Atlanta and a second composer, David Fleming, joining John Murphy, the film hasn't hit reshoot panic mode. Just polish. Both composers still have music in the final cut. Roughly 25 minutes of footage were cut from earlier versions, giving the final film a leaner feel. The trimming reflects a studio laser-focused on delivering a clean, confident launch for the rebooted DC universe. The final test screening is locked in for this week. And while it's too early to tell if these 11th-hour tweaks will pay off, there's reportedly a fresh wave of optimism within the studio. The film is in the can, tightened, tuned, and ready to fly. Whether Superman avoids the MCU-like pitfalls it flirted with remains to be seen. But this time, DC seems determined not to miss the mark. The full movie's done and dusted 5 weeks before release, a rare move that screams studio confidence, according to THR's Heat Vision. Even tweets from the test screening leaks back it up. One from filmmaker Joe Russo called it super good. Looking at Gunn's superhero track record, Guardians, Peacemaker, The Suicide Squad, this shouldn't be shocking. The guys never missed. And the vibes already. James Gunn's Superman might be the DCU reset fans have been waiting for. Early buzz says it's not just decent, it's actually good. Despite last-minute pickups in Atlanta and a second composer, David Fleming, joining John Murphy, the film hasn't hit reshoot panic mode. Just polish. Both composers still have music in the final cut. James Gunn wants John Cena's Peacemaker to fight Batman in the DCU, but fans doubt the antihero's chances against the Dark Knight. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn has come a long way since just being a mastermind visionary filmmaker, considering how he will be officially launching his revamped version of the DC Universe soon as its co-CEO with the upcoming Superman. But that is to say, the Brainbox isn't eyeing limits, especially when it comes to his vision for John Cena's Peacemaker. AD. John Cena has been pulling off quite a few unprecedented moves as of late. Be it his unexpected gig at WWE of turning into a heel after his long-time run as a babyface or the out-of-this-world roles that he somehow seems to score, the actor and professional wrestler hasn't been hesitating lately to leave his fans perplexed by his choices and opinions. But the latest wish that has reportedly been expressed for him has ostensibly taken a different turn, as it appears to be a bit too much of an impossible dream to come true, even for fans. This is because DCU co-CEO James Gunn has candidly put forward his vision of having him fight with Batman at some point in his revamped version of the Superverse. Of course, Cena's character is a major and important one in the DC lore, but he's arguably not as significant and influential of a character as the Caped Crusader, who is basically the cornerstone of the DC universe. As it turns out, Gunn is reportedly envisioning pitting Cena's antihero against the Dark Knight at some point in his DCU. This was reported by @Homioftku on X, in the wake of the recently held panel at the CCXP Mexico 2025, where both the respective director as well as the actor were present to talk about the upcoming Season 2 of Peacemaker. James Gunn says he wants to see Peacemaker fight Batman at some point in the DCU. While Gunn didn't hesitate to put it out there how he is ostensibly visualizing having these two characters from completely different ends of the same world face off against each other, fans aren't hesitating either to make fun of the idea. If anything, they just can't see Bruce Wayne and Chris Smith share the screen, or the latter winning against the former. That said, taking to X, here's how they have been reacting to the same. For one, while Batman is a foundational member of the Justice League and a key figure in Gotham City's fight against crime, Peacemaker, on the other hand, is primarily a character in the Suicide Squad, and has a more antagonistic role in the universe. This is why even fans are seeing this as a rather impossible dream to come true. But is it actually Gunn's wish to have them fight, or was this just something he put out there to pique fans' interest in Peacemaker? Guess only time can answer that, perhaps, with the release of the second season of Cena's anti-hero series. Needless to say, all of these fan reactions are more than enough to put it out there that Cena's character won't really be able to put up a fair fight against the Caped Crusader and might be beaten a bit too soon. Henry Cavill may no longer portray Superman on the big screen, but there is still hope that he could join James Gunn's DC universe as Ultraman. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn's Superman is just around the corner, but there are still so many mysterious details that fans could only figure out once the movie hits the cinemas. For one, who is the guy in a black suit with a U-shaped logo on his chest in the movie's teaser trailer? Henry Cavill's exit from DCU shocked not only him but fans around the world. Just when everyone was expecting a major comeback from the Man of Steel himself, all hopes were snuffed out in one go. The actor was even tasked to deliver the sad news that he's finally hanging up the suit for good. As James Gunn took over the revamped DC universe, there was not a hint that Cavill would somehow return. This was further confirmed after David Corenswet was hired to play the new Superman. Is there really no more chance for Cavill to join the DCU? Besides, Gunn brought a couple of characters and storylines from the Snyderverse as part of his plans for narrative continuity. Since Ultraman technically comes from the multiverse plane, it's perfectly possible to bring Cavill into the fold. That's Ultraman, and we know the character from the comics as the villain form of Superman, an alternate version of him from Earth 3. This place is the hub for the evil and corrupted counterparts of the main heroes. With that, the antagonist essentially possesses the same Kryptonian powers as Superman, making him a formidable